You woke up, opened your eyes, but didn't cry like other babies. It was clear that the world would be silent at that moment. I was the child of a peasant family in one of Japan's secret valleys in the Iga region. But this family was not ordinary. They farmed, grew crops, gathered wood from the mountains, but they also secretly trained ninjas. Because you don't become a ninja there, you're born one. It wasn't a profession, it was a family duty. Training began when you were just 5 years old. First, you learned to walk silently. Then you learned to live silently. Do they call it a Cebu where you're from? You were so quiet that no one even noticed when you left the house. But that was just the beginning. You learned to jump from heights and climb. Where you come from, they call it taijutsu. You memorized poisonous plants. Which ones kill, which ones heal. You learned to imitate animals. One of the most interesting things was learning to communicate by making crow sounds. Everything was secret within the family. Conversations were whispered. Secrets were kept under stones. Secrecy, patience, and discipline were your 3 sacred principles. When you turned 12, things got tough. You were now holding a katana. But it wasn't just a sword. You were learning to fight like a shadow with a spear, kunai, rope, and hook. They called you Kadaki Hibuki. That is, the one who starts fires and creates chaos. You had to be extremely careful not to lose your fingers while preparing explosives. But the most important thing was espionage. Disguising yourself, infiltrating a place, imitating the enemy's language, revealing your voice but not your face, because you wouldn't be seen, heard, or leave a trace. You live among society as a normal person. You hide your ninja identity. Sometimes you could be a merchant, sometimes a musician, sometimes a beggar, and sometimes even a priest. When it came to marriage, you could get married. Your spouse could even be a kunichi, or female ninja. You lived in a rural house. But you weren't staying in one place for long. You often moved and lived in houses with secret passages, because secrecy was very important. You carried out missions from time to time. You sneaked into castles and enemy camps to gather information. Sometimes you entered enemy camps at night. Sometimes you established secret communication and carried coded notes. You tracked a target from a distance for days. You might leave fake footprints for weeks. You send messages using crow sounds. But your job isn't just about tracking. Those are relatively simpler tasks. The real challenges are more difficult, like infiltrating a well-protected castle to steal plans. You can also carry out assassination missions using poison, hidden weapons, or by strangling someone with your hands. You can start fires and create chaos. And for me, the most interesting part was making noises and imitating screams all night long to drive the enemy commander mad and instill fear in him. You were no longer just a ninja. You were the shadow itself. And then one night, you were given the task of changing history. There was a man trapped in enemy territory. You had to rescue him. The task was very difficult, but no one else could do it. He was like an ordinary hostage. You reached him with a 200-strong ninja team, passing through mountain passes and dark paths. You gathered support from other ninja families in Iga. The goal was clear. You would sneak in silently, escape silently, and kill silently along the way. By dawn, you had successfully rescued the hostage. He was alive. And in that moment, you had actually saved an empire. The person you rescued was Tokugawa. Years later, Tokugawa became the shogun of Japan. To remember his gratitude to you, he had the Hanzo Gate built in the heart of the capital. Today, there is even a metro line in Toko named after you, Hanzomon. So who are you? You are Hattori Hanzo, a legend, a warrior, an intelligence leader, the architect of an invisible history. Your name was now whispered. Not only your enemies, but even your friends could not see you. Because you were no longer just a man. You were silence itself. Your name struck fear. You passed without leaving a trace. Many people died without ever seeing you. Some thought you were a ghost. Others believed you were a shadow sent by the gods. But you remained the same person. You simply ceased to be seen. Hattori Hanzo was loyal, protector and warrior of Tokugawa Ieyasu from 1542 to 1596. He was also the commander of the ninja troops. He was known by the nickname Ghost Hanzo. He gained fame for being silent and deadly on the battlefield. For this reason, his enemies also gave him the nickname Oni Hanzo, or Demon Hanzo. He saved Tokugawa's life. In 1582, after the Honnoji incident, Hanzo and the Iga ninjas escorted Tokugawa. Tokugawa Ieyasu had fled from Toyotomi's army. They led him to safety by crossing enemy lines. This event paved the way for Tokugawa's survival and the unification of Japan. There is a temple dedicated to him in Tokyo. The Seienenji Temple in Tokyo is dedicated to Hanzo. His tombstone is also there, and Hanzo's spear is still on display. There is actually a Hanzo gate. The Hanzomon in Tokyo is one of the gates, one of the castle gates defended by Hattori Hanzo. The current Tokyo Metro Hanzomon line also takes its name from here. The ninja costume is legendary. The image of ninjas in black costumes actually comes from kabuki theater. In reality, ninjas used camouflage by appearing as peasants, priests, beggars, and merchants. Female ninjas, known as kunoichi, were very effective as female agents in poisoning, seduction, and gathering information. These female ninjas, known as kawaii, are historically little known but played quite important roles. Ninjas were not primarily assassins. Their main tasks were espionage, sabotage, information gathering, and escape. The image of the assassin ninja in popular culture is somewhat exaggerated. There were real ninja manuals. For example, Bansen Shukai, published in 1676. It was a real ninja encyclopedia of its time. It described chemicals, tactics, and psychological warfare strategies. The Iga and Koga clans were the most famous. The most famous ninja clans in Japan were in the Iga and Koga regions. Hattori Hanzo was also from the Iga clan. These two clans sometimes worked against each other and sometimes worked together. It may be wrong to say that they disappeared. Ninjas merged with official military structures during the Edo period or retreated to the mountains. However, some documents show that ninja techniques were passed on by secret groups until the beginning of the 20th century. The ninja star was not the primary weapon. The shuriken or star-shaped throwing weapon was used not as a lethal weapon but as a distraction. The primary weapons were swords, daggers, staffs, and poison. Psychological warfare using natural substances. Ninjas would mimic animal sounds, whistle at night, and leave fake footprints to confuse the enemy's mind. It is known that they used these tactics to scare and drive away their enemies. Ninjas were real warriors of the shadows who influenced the course of their era with espionage and guerrilla tactics. Their influence continues to inspire films, series, and games even centuries later. This time I will speak very little at the end of the video. If you have stayed with me this far, you are already one of my loyal followers. This time I added a little information section at the end of the concept because I wanted to show that this actually existed, that ninjas really did exist, and what they did in real life. I wanted to surprise you with some intriguing details, but the video ended up being a bit long, and the informational text section is almost the same length as the visual section. Should this text section remain as text, or should I visualize it as well? I'm stuck in the middle. That's why, as I said, I need your help in this video, because I will develop the concept based on the comments you write. So if you share these with me in the comments, I'll be able to understand much better what to improve and what to leave out in the next video. Because I've been responding to comments since the very beginning of the channel. We're growing this channel together. Every comment, every idea you have is very valuable to me. As I said, I need help on how the concept should progress. Don't forget to mention it in the comments. If you liked the video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and if you're watching on mobile, swipe right to hype the comments. It would also be great if you become a member. Anyway, don't forget to write your opinions in the comments. I'll say it again, see you later. Thank you for watching the video.